was that we have a bunch of unpublished apps, and I went to look at them to see what they were, and it turns out that we have a lot of people who took Android APK packages, renamed them to .click, and submitted them to our store.
That didn't work?
No, surprisingly didn't. So that got me started talking with Pat about what we can do to help Android developers port their apps over, and there was quite a few bad options that were not going to work for us and no good ones. But it got me started to thinking about what can we do if we can't automatically port apps over, what can we do to make it a little bit easier? And so I started just hacking together a Python script to do that. So to start out, just, can everyone in the back hear me? All right. So, for starters, what it's not going to do, it's not going to let you run Android apps in Ubuntu. It's not going to try and bundle an Android app with a JVM inside a clip package and deploy it that way. It's certainly not going to try and translate Java code into JavaScript because I don't want to go down that road. And it's not going to produce a completely usable Ubuntu app for you. But what it will do, it'll start an Ubuntu app, which is easy. For every activity in your Android app, it will create a page component and put it in a page stack in your main view of your app. It will then go through your activities layouts, and it will try and recreate each component and the tree structure of that layout in QML components. And it'll do that for the page and any subcomponents under that page. Some more things it'll do, it'll replace Android string lookups with our translations calls. It'll convert the different sizing units that Android uses into our grid units. It will rename the Android drawables that are in different directories depending on high DPI, low DPI. It'll convert those into our @8 or @10 or @16 resolution independent files. And then there's a Go script that somebody gave me that will convert the Android 9 patch images, which let you intelligently scale images. It'll convert those into Qt's version of that, which are SCI files. Some things that you could possibly do going forward. In Android, you've got the action bar, which is their header equivalent, and you can style that. A lot of apps do that. We could potentially do that. I can extract that information with NDR. I just need some API changes to the header to be able to intelligently set that per page the way Android apps do. We could create custom themes based on the styles in the Android app. I need a way to apply a set of theme files to an app. There may be a way to do that already, I just don't know about it yet. And then finally, I could potentially build JavaScript skeletons based on the Java files, give it the same class name, same method names. I just don't know if that's going to produce more useful code than useless code, so I haven't tried doing that. What you get after you run it, you get a working Ubuntu app. That is, you can launch it straight away, you'll get a window. It won't die on you right away, but it's not going to look like a complete app. Inside of that, you're going to have a page component for every activity. And more importantly, you're going to have the original component IDs that were used in Android. So if you know that you had something called gallery viewer activity, you're going to have a page with the ID gallery. If you had gallery controls components under there, you're going to have a set of a component that's got that ID in your QML app. All of the images, the colors, the text should mostly match the original. If your app does a lot of dynamically changing those things in Java, it can't pick that up because it's just scanning the static layout definitions. The UI conversion is about 70% accurate. You'll get QML equivalents for just about all of the components that are in your Android apps. They work a little bit differently, so you have to tweak some things sometimes, especially around layout. There's still some work that I think we can do in NDR to make that better. So once you get that, your next step as a app porter, you have to recreate the logic for your code in JavaScript and QML and C++ if you really wanted to. I think that's going to be 90% probably the porting work. You have to connect that to your QML properties and the components that are provided for you. You have to fill those in. Like I said, if you're dynamically changing images or colors or text, you've got to do that. You have to replace any Android-specific functionality with Ubuntu stuff. So if you're using intents to get content out of other apps in Android, you're going to have to convert the way you work with that to use content and that kind of thing. And then finally, you have to build your package. So I've been using 4 different apps to test this as I've been going along. So I go ahead and I've got a script that just runs the NDR script on all 4 of those at a time. And it'll go through and it'll generate me brand new output for those. So I'm going to load up the Telegram app. All of these apps I've been testing on are from the open source Android store, F-Droid, so that I can actually get the source and see what the original was and compare it. So for the Telegram app, this is what you get. The main view, it's got the app name correctly set there. You've got a page stack. It'll set the style based on what was in the Android data. And then you've got each of these pages for your different activities. And you can right away just run the app from here without making any changes to it. And lose your Wi-Fi. So this is what you get. It doesn't look like much, but the first thing you notice is that it doesn't have the standard gray background. It's got a white background. And that's coming from this theme file that's pulled from Telegram itself. Now I can change the initial page here. One of the others that has a little bit better content there. So you can see it pulled the image out. It's using the resolution independent image that it creates. They built a button using just a label with background rectangle, so that's what that is. But it's actually supposed to be a button. You click that and it goes on to another page. Change it again to another page. You can see here, it's got a lot of content, but it doesn't look real nice. So that's the login page. And if we go to that, you'll see it has this frame layout fix, which is a custom subclass that the Telegram app has. It's based on an Android component, but then they do a lot of stuff in Java to change the way it works. Since I'm not reading Java, it just defaults back to an item for any component that it doesn't recognize. Looking at the Android code, I saw that it works kind of like a column. So if we just change that custom component to use column as a base, now it looks like you've got the item IDs that are being pulled from the Android source. The text is being pulled from the source. Even the colors of the text are being pulled from the Android source. So that's it. Any questions?
What does the name mean?
You know I like that.
So I think I answered somebody on this already. It's based on an Isaac Asimov novel, The Bicentennial Man. And the lead character is an NDR series robot that over the course of the novel became more and more evil. Any other questions? Not name related. This is all on Launchpad. It's
Cool.
NDR is the project name. You can go grab the branch and try it out.
Video on Google Plus, I think you get a lot of help, I bet.
I did. That's where I got the Go script that converts the
Cool.
Android images was from me posting on Google Plus.
That's super cool, Michael.